Hello and welcome back to my channel, Cards by Melissa Minor. Today I am gonna unbox the Stamps of Life June Card Kit Club. This is called the Enjoy the Moment collection. Now, if you're not a club member, I will have a link down below in the description box if you're interested in joining. You can use my code MelissaM and you will earn 500 bonus club points. All right, let's go ahead and get started. This is the idea card that comes in the kit. So it's got some ideas here. And let's take a look at what is in the kit. So here's a look at the paper pad. Beautiful papers. So I'm going to flip through here. Now you do receive 24 double-sided sheets. There are 12 designs, 2 of each. Now this here, these are some die cuts. If you have the Lavish Long Stem Flowers, that was the June Die Hard Club set, here's the stamps too, then you would be able to cut these images out of the paper. And if not, you can use your scissors and just fussy cut them. But how perfect is this? If you have the dies already, then you can just cut these out of the paper pad. Love that they do that with these already on the paper pad. Makes it super easy. All right, and then this next page, to cut these out, if you have the Lavish Long Stem 2, that was an additional purchase, so you would need that set to cut those out. So I'm going to continue flipping through here. I did tear my paper pad apart. This is only half of it. So when we get to the end here, this is only half of it. You do get 2 of each of the 12 designs. All right, let's see what else we have. We get envelopes. Okay. And then you get this amazing A1 card die set. This is the oval crisscross card set. Oh, and I love this mini flower that's in the middle here. You get a word die. This says enjoy the moment, and you get the shadow for it as well. This is some beautiful pink ribbon. I think that's flamingo. And then you get these stickers with the flowers. There's some words here that say hello, hi, and congrats. And then here's some glossy stickers. They say, may your days bloom with joy, and here's to a day filled with sunshine and happiness. Then you get these pink glossy pearls. So pretty. And let's see what else we have. Then here's some beautiful felt flowers we can use as embellishments. And then we get this large envelope. And let's take a look at the cardstock. This is flamingo, then there's slate and pineapple. These were in the envelope. And then let's take a look at the package here and see what other colors are inside. And then we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets of powdered sugar. That's the white. And then this is bubble gum. And we also have Pixie, Ginger Snap, Kiwi, and Blue Jay. And then let me bring back in these others. Flamingo, slate, and pineapple. Beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and move these to the side and make some cards. So for my first card today, I have my glass mat out, and this glass mat is also magnetic. It is amazing. But I want to use this big, large brush here, and I want to put some ink down on this powdered sugar cardstock. And the reason I want to do that is I'm going to stamp a large image, but first I want to get some ink on here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Pacific ink, and we're going to put some ink all over this sheet. Actually, let me take these magnets off of here so I can move this around. And I'm just going to continue putting more ink on here. I love these round brushes. I don't know if you've ever used these, but they allow you to put a lot of ink down, like all at one time. So they're really good for that. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let me put just a little bit more. Okay, that's good. Make sure I don't have ink all over my fingers. All right, so I'm going to set this to the side, and then I'm going to bring in a stamp. All right, actually I'm going to set my glass mat to the side so that I don't get blue everywhere. Okay, so the stamp set that I want to use is this pocket, and this is called Pocket to Stamp. This is probably a really old stamp, but I thought it would be cute to use this pocket on a card. So I've got a big block here, and let me peel this pocket off, and we'll get this mounted on the block. So when I have a stamp like this, I don't want it to lose its shape. So what I like to do is set the stamp down and then pick it up with the block. I didn't quite get that right. So I set the stamp down and then pick it up with the block. And so that it will keep its shape and that the die will match up perfectly. All right, so I need to grab some ink. So let me pull in some black ink, and I'm going to use the Forever Black. And since this stamp is so large, I'm just going to flip my stamp over and bring the ink to the stamp. I don't usually ink my stamps up this way, but since it's so large, I think this will be easier. So I'm going to get lots of ink on here. And let me put the lid back on this. I don't want to get my fingers in the black. And I'm going to turn this over, and let's see where I think this will be good. And I'm going to give it a nice press, and I'm going to give it a second just to let the ink soak in. And you can see I have my secret weapon underneath my stamp that helps it give a really good impression. I'm going to lift it off. That looks perfect. All right, so let me clean this up. I do have my salt cellar here, and I'm using a stamp chamois, and I'm just going to wipe this up real quick so that I can put this stamp away, because I had a lot of ink on here. So I'm going to get this cleaned up, and then I can get the dies out and we will get going on this card. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, so let me quickly remove this stamp and put it back on the carrier sheet, and then I'll grab the dies out. Okay, perfect. So got some extra pieces in here. I just stored all in there. Okay, so here's the dies, and there's several dies in here. Like you can make like an insert for a gift card. You can make it pop up and stuff, but I just want this one, the outline die. So I will go ahead and die cut this off camera, and I will be right back. Okay, so look at that. Doesn't that look good? I think so. Looks just like denim. Okay, and then this is the cut apart sheet from the paper pad, and I'm going to use the Lavish Long Stem 2 die and cut these flowers out. So let me do that. Okay, so I have these all cut out, so I'm going to use these, and we're going to stick these in the pocket for our card. So let me go ahead and fold this A2 card base, and I have my little scoring tool here. There we go. Perfect. Looks good. Okay, and then I also took a sheet from the paper pad, and I went ahead and used my stitched rectangle dies, and I cut this out, and I'm going to put some of this adhesive on the back, and we'll go ahead and put this down on our card base. I love that yellow, that pineapple color. So this will be our base, and then I want to put this pocket on the card, and then we can start stacking our flowers inside. Oh my goodness, if I can get a hold of it. All right, so we're going to center the pocket up here. Now I don't want to put adhesive along the top of the pocket because I want to tuck those flowers down inside. So I'm only going to put adhesive along the side and then along the bottom, just along the edges, so that it's easier for me to tuck things down inside. So let me make sure that I get this centered, and I think I've got it pretty well centered. Okay, and then let's stick these flowers down inside here. That's gonna look good. but you're not going to be able to see the leaves. So I'm going to do something a little bit crazy. I'm going to cut the leaves off. And because I want to use those leaves, and so I want to be able to tuck those leaves up and make them so that you can see some of those. So I'm gonna cut these leaves off, and then I really don't need all of this stem either. So let me trim this. Let me cut this stem. Let me see what this looks like. I don't need all that stem. So let me cut the stem. And yeah, that's gonna look perfect. And then I want to kind of tuck the leaf in there, but there's too much white on here, I think. So for what I want to do with it, so I'm going to trim some of this white off of here. So let me do just this one. Let me get some of this off of here. There we go. That looks better. There's one little piece right here I missed. Let me get that. Okay. So see what I mean here? Then I can tuck a leaf in there. So I'll go ahead and get these other flowers. I'll go ahead and cut their stems and leaves off. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and trim these leaves off of these other flowers. So I can use them. It's kind of scary, right? Cutting my beautiful die cut images. And let me trim the stem off. And then I want this flower. Oh, I think I want the pixie flower on the right, and then maybe this pink one on the, I want the pink one on, or I want the pixie one on the left, and I think I want the pink one on the right. And I think I want the yellow in the middle. So let me trim the leaves off of this one, and then we'll put the yellow one in the middle. Let's see, and trim this stem. Okay, yeah, I like that. Now I'll go ahead and get these leaves trimmed down off camera. I don't think you'll need to watch me do that. And then I will be right back. Yeah, that's gonna look good. Okay, let me trim these leaves down, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got all the leaves trimmed down. I got the white cut off of there. And so I want to go ahead and give these flowers a little bit of dimension. I don't have anything glued in yet. So I think the easiest way to do this is I have these little foam squares. And so I think I just want to tuck a little foam square underneath this left flower. And then I'm going to tuck a foam square. I'm peeling all the adhesive off, so that way I don't have to do that later. So I got both sides sticky, and I'm gonna stick this foam on this one. So I don't want them all the same height. I'm gonna try to tuck this yellow one down just a little bit, and then maybe I'll raise this pink one up a little bit higher. I mean, I can't give them a whole lot of variety in height because there's not a whole lot of room here. So let me get one more foam square here and put it on the back. And I'll pop this one up as high as I can get it. There we go. So I think that'll hold them in place. I don't think I need any more glue, but let me bring in my liquid glue here and try to get some of these leaves in here. So I think I want to put it underneath the petal and just kind of poking out. So let me put a little bit of liquid glue on the back. And then let me lift this up. You're not going to see a whole lot of the leaf, but there's enough to know that there's a leaf under there. I think that looks so cute. But if we wouldn't have cut those leaves off, you wouldn't have seen any green. I think it just gives it another pop of color. My hand's in the way. I know you can't see what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get one underneath there. You can't even really see that one. I know it's there. I guess if you hold the card up close, you would see it. So just those extra little details, right? Okay, and then let me put one over here on the side. Sorry, I'm gonna have to twist and turn this card because I got to get at the right angle to poke this leaf down in there. Let me get this one on here. Okay. I don't even know if you can see that one. You really can't now that I'm looking at it, but it's there. Okay. So we've got some leaves on here, we've got our flowers, but that pocket's looking kind of empty, so we need something on the pocket. So let me move this to the side. I did go ahead and die cut the words. So this is the Enjoy the Moment, the word die that came in the kit. And look at this, it's so pretty. So I did use some vellum from my stash, and I cut the Enjoy the Moment out of some licorice cardstock. Now, when you do this, make sure you use the adhesive sheets because there's really not a way to put adhesive on the back of these letters. They're very, very intricate. So the adhesive sheets are your best friend. So the Stamps of Life has the adhesive sheets on their website, and you definitely need them for these words. So now I can use my liquid adhesive here to just put just a dab behind a few of the letters here, just so that this sentiment can stick to my card front, because you don't want to get it anywhere that the vellum's gonna show through, or you'll be able to see the glue. But I'm just putting it just behind where like the black is. So that looks super cute. I'm gonna put this block on here to let that dry a moment, and I'm gonna go looking for some gems. So I found some of these gems in my stash. These came in a previous card kit, I'm sure. And so look, this one kind of matches that pink color. I think it's supposed to be bubblegum maybe, but it's like a different shade of it, I feel like. So these gems look just like it. So I really like the color of these. So if you've been in a card kit for any number of years, look in your stash and maybe you have these as well. They have like a sparkle to them. They're really pretty and they just match this flower so good. So I'm going to put a few on here, and I like to use like something with a fine tip. I like to put my gems on the fine tip, and then it just helps me put them into place. Because sometimes when I have them on my finger and I try to stick them down, they don't get in the exact spot that I want them, and then they end up sticking to my finger or in the wrong spot. So there we go. This is our first card. I love it. I hope you do too. All right, let's start card number 2. So I want to use this mini slimline die set. And have you seen this one? You get so many dies in this. Look at this. This all comes with the mini slimline die set. Look at all this. Crazy. I think it does anyway. I had it all in this envelope. Double check me. You can check on the website, but I had all of this in here. Yeah. Okay, so I used this. And I just die cut some pieces. So I'm using the Pixie cardstock, and I cut a card base, and then I used some of the layering pieces here. I cut a piece of powdered sugar cardstock that's going to layer right onto here. And I'm using this new adhesive from the Stamps of Life. I love it. Look how good it just rolls right on. And it's really sticky too. Okay, so I'm going to stick this down. This card's going to be super fast. And then I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of this one. And we're going to layer this one on. Let's see, which side do I want on the top? I think this way. Nope, I want that big pink flower at the top. Okay, and then this one's going to layer over here like that. And then let's see, I've got this white piece. Now, it's a smaller one, but it came from the same die set. And I'm going to put this over here, like on the right-hand side. Did I get that centered? I don't think so. Let me double check it. Let me do this again. See, the adhesive gives you just a moment to pick it up and move it again. Okay, I think that looks better. That's centered. And then I went ahead and used the dies, and I die cut this from the paper pad. And so I want to stick this down. Isn't that pretty? So let me put some adhesive on here. There we go. And then we'll put this right here. It just really pops with that white behind it. Okay, and then a sentiment, and I'm going to go ahead and use one of the stickers. Now I did remove the stick off the back. I used some powder and took the stick off the back, so I'm going to have to use some liquid adhesive here. I'm going to bring in the glue and stick this down. But you could use any of the stickers. Any of them would look really nice on here. But I thought hi, I could use this anytime and use for this card. So this was a really fast card, but I think it's really cute. There we go. And I've got these gems laying here on my desk. So I'm just going to use them. These are just like some mirrored gems. See, if I try to use my finger, sometimes they stick to it. I should have got my little poker tool. And let me put one up here. Okay. So here is card number 2. Easy. All right, moving on to card number 3. So I already have the pieces die cut. Now, have you ever seen Call Me Crafty Al on YouTube? She does a sheet load of cards every month. And I love using these with the Stamps of Life paper pads. So I will link her video down below because I can't just link the sketch to this. She does have you download it from her video link, but it basically shows you how to make a sheet load of cards. So you can cut a whole bunch of these using your 6x6 paper pads. So I went ahead and did just that. I cut out several of the sheets of paper using her design, and then I added these little mini tags. And the set that I got these from is this one here. This is called the Create a Tag die set. And so I've never used a mini tag. This is meant to be like a topper, I think, but why not use it? And then these flowers here, these were from the Die Hard set this month. And instead of cutting out the whole flower, I just cut out like just the top part of it with the die. And I used, like the inside die, not the outside die. So I'm just cutting off like the stem part here. So we'll cut that off. Okay. So I followed the directions. Here's the die. I'm just showing you that die here. So I just used the flower part. So I followed her directions to cut these and just used bits and pieces from the paper pad. And I want to stamp a sentiment here on these tags. And so this one here, sending you a floral hug. This is from the Lavish Phrases. And so I want to stamp that here on the tags. So let me go ahead and do that really quick. Sometimes I like to stamp my sentiments with this alcohol ink. I know I'm not using alcohol coloring, but I think it just gives you like a really crisp image. Let me give it a good press. That looks really good. Okay. And there we go. There we go. Perfect. All right, so I have those pieces ready to go. And now I'm going to do some inking. So I've got the pixie here, and I'm going to bring in this pixie ink, and I want to ink the edges of the flower just a little bit, just to jazz this up a bit. I know it's kind of hard to see on camera, but in real life, you can definitely tell that this flower, that the ink is making a difference. So we'll just continue here to get ink on all the edges of the petals, and then I'll do the same thing to the tag. So this Crafty Owl, her sheetload of cards, it really does make for quick and easy cards, and it's a great way if you're in the card kit club to use your supplies. So I love it, and I try to make some of her cards using her sketch every month with my card kit club. So I feel like it's a challenge every month to do that. I don't always make the whole set, but she also gives you dimensions just to make like one if you want. Okay, so I have the pixie done, and now I need to do the same thing with the pineapple ink. So let me go ahead and grab my yellow. Here's the pineapple ink, and let me go ahead and grab my yellow brush. Oh, I had a sticker on here. Let me pull that off. And so I will ink the edges of this yellow flower. Oh, this one's a lot more juicy than my pixie ink pad. I might need to re-ink my pixie pad. Look how fast this ink is going on. It's going on kind of thick. And maybe you can see that a little bit better. So then I'm going to ink the edges of my tag as well. I've never used this half a tag. Isn't that kind of cute? I mean, I never would have thought to do that, but the sentiment fits on there perfectly. Okay, so I have that done. So now we've got our pieces ready to go. So I'm going to set this glass board over to the side, and now we can start like putting our pieces together. Now you can see here that I've done a little treatment to the backgrounds. So this one on the right, I used an embossing folder from my stash. And then the one on the left, I used the Stamps of Life embossing folder. So there's 2 embossing folders. It comes in a set on the Stamps of Life website. And I did use that embossing folder. I think it just elevates the card a little bit. And I'll show you here in a moment some that I've made without the embossing folder. So in her directions, it says to have all the pieces ready, and then you cut this one down to 1-inch strips. So I'm just doing that here. I've cut these down to 1-inch strips. Okay, now we can get ready to start gluing. And I want to make sure I keep these little pieces in order. So I'm going to get my tape runner here, and I'm going to put some tape on the back of here. And I like to do the edges first, and then I'll kind of split the difference with the centerpiece. So I'm going to glue these down. And if you're wanting the dimensions for all of these, they will be in the download on her video. So you can recreate these cards if you'd like. Okay, so there we go. We have that. And you know what? I don't know if this is going to stick to that. Oh, I started putting it on the wrong side. I don't know if this is going to stick to that embossed piece. I can try it. I don't know if that's going to stick. Let me peel this off. I think I'm going to get some liquid glue just to make sure, and I'm going to go ahead and put some liquid glue on here. Now, that piece where I got tape runner on the wrong side, that's not even going to matter, so I'm not worried about that because that's going to be covered up. Okay, so let me try this again. Isn't that so pretty? I love the look. Okay, so we'll put that on there like that, and then we're going to put, I'm going to continue using the liquid glue for these pieces that are going to go on the raised pieces, on the ones that have been embossed. Let's see, how did this go? How do I want this? Okay, like this. There we go. And we'll stick this down. And then I'm going to need to put this on a card base. So let me grab a card base really quick so that we can get this glued down on here. First, let me go ahead and give it a score. So let me fold this in half and give it a good score here. There we go. And then I'm going to continue with that liquid glue, and we'll get this centered up. And we'll give this a press. Let's see here. Put some glue. All right. There we go. And then we're going to grab our little tag. And we're not going to leave that tag empty like that. We're going to need to fill it up. So let me bring in the ribbon that came in the kit. This ribbon's so pretty. And I like to use these Tim Holtz scissors when I cut the ribbon. I only use them for ribbon, and they don't fray the ends. They cut it perfectly. So I'm going to match up this ribbon end to end, and I'm going to kind of pinch it together and kind of twist it a little bit. And I'm going to poke both ends together at the same time through the hole. And then let me poke these through here like this. And then I'm going to take them back through the loop like so. Pull them back through and then pull this up. And then we got our tag. So let me trim the ends just a little bit. So I'm going to trim them at a diagonal. One going up, one going down. There. I like it. Okay, and I think I'm going to use a couple foam squares just to pop this up a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to use a little bit of foam here. So let me bring in my foam squares, just a couple. Let me peel off these release papers. There we go. And then we'll put these down. Let me fix this ribbon a little bit. I like that. Sending you a floral hug. That's cute. Okay, and then I want to put this flower on here. And I think I want to pop this up as well. So I got another foam square. And I'm going to put the flower down. And then I need to do a treatment to this flower because it's looking kind of plain. So have you ever used the Stamps of Life 3D inks? So this is the white 3D ink pen. And I'm going to grab a paper towel here because I just want to make sure that it's coming out well before I start on my card because I don't want to ruin my card. So I'm just going to squirt a little bit out here on my paper towel. Yep, it's coming out pretty good. Let me just double check it. Yeah, it's coming out good. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go along the center here of this flower. I'm going to trace the center. And then, oops, I got a little bit out there. So I'm going to keep going along the outer edge of this flower, and then I'm going to fill it in. Why did it stop here? Let me make sure it's coming out. There we go. Okay, I got it. So I'm just going to go along the edge, and then I'm going to squeeze a little bit more into the center and just kind of fill it up. And then I'm just going to kind of spread this around a little bit, and this will give it some dimension. Now it does take a while for this 3D ink to dry, but it looks really pretty and shiny when it dries. But I think it's great for flower centers. You can also just use it for like little puffy dots. There's lots of things that you can do with this, but I think the white looks really good because it matches the white dots, the white floral centers in the paper. So there we go. I'm gonna have to be real careful and let this dry, but we have our card here. Really cute. I like it. Okay. So now you can see here, I did finish the other one off camera. Now the ones on the top are the ones with the embossing folders and the ink, and then the ones on the bottom are the ones I made first, and you can see they don't have that extra detail of the embossing folder or the inking. So let me hold these up closer to the camera here so you can see how much detail. It just really elevates your card by adding the inking and adding the extra embossing detail. All right, let's start another card. So for this card, I am using the, let's see, pineapple for the card base. And then I've cut a piece of pixie here just to layer inside. So I'm just going to stick this down. And then I've cut a piece of white that I'm just going to layer here in the center of that. This one's going to be really fast. All right, so we're just going to lay this in the inside. And then I've got a bunch of 1-inch squares here just out of the paper pad. So this is a great thing to do, a great pattern to do if you have a bunch of scraps. So I have some squares here, and I'm just going to lay these out in a little pattern. So I've got one at the top, and then I'm going to make a little pattern here, one in the bottom, and then I'm going to do a row of 3 across. So I'm going to leave an open square at the top and then an open like rectangle at the bottom. So this is kind of how I want them. And I will glue these down off camera because I want to get my head right over this so that I get them all lined up. But I think this is how I want them. For some reason, these aren't lining up here. I must have not measured these correctly. Let me trim just a little bit off of this one so that it lines up. There we go. Much better. I needed that little white separation. There, that looks better. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue these down off camera, and then I will be right back. Okay, there we go. So I have these all glued down and they look pretty straight. And now I have some ink left on my brush from the previous cards. So I'm going to put a little bit of that pineapple ink down right here in the right-hand corner, this little rectangle that we have free. Just like so, just a little bit. And I'm going to stamp a sentiment there. So I'm going to see which one fits. I can't decide here which one I want to use. Either you make my world bloom or work hard, make it happen. They both fit. Can't decide. I think I want to use you make my world bloom. That really goes along good with the flower, and I've already die cut the flower out of the paper pad. So I want to use you make my world bloom. So I already have all these other pieces on my card. I don't want to mess this up. So let me grab a piece of scrap paper because I haven't used this one before. And I just want to make sure that this is stamping well before I stamp it directly on my card because I can't afford to mess up now. So I found a scrap here and I brought in my secret weapon, and I'm going to use my Finesse Spectrum Noir ink. I like to use this for sentiments. You can use any black ink. Okay, yep, that's stamping good. Okay, so I'm going to open up my card here and ink up my stamp. And then I'm going to Stamp this down. My goodness, I stamped that pretty quick. I hope I got that centered. There we go, perfect. All right, you make my world bloom. So that looks good. Let me quickly clean off my stamp so that I can put it back on the carrier sheet. Oh, let me get this poked back in there. There we go. So I will get this placed back down so I can put this away. Let me just set it to the side for now. Okay, and then I want to place the flower just like so. Isn't that cute? I love that, but I think I want to put some foam on the back of the flower just to give it a little extra dimension. So let me see. I've got this thin foam here in my stash, so let me just put some of this thin foam. I think this is going to be thin enough. Let me see if it's going to be thin enough to put along, yep, thin along to put along this stem. Let me just flip it over. Yep, you can't see it, so that's good. And then I will put a little bit more up here just to make that pop up. Let me pull these release papers off, and then we will get this flower stuck down to our card. And then this was another easy card. Let's see. There we go. I like it. Okay, so all it needs now are some gems. So let's see what kind of bling I can find for this one. All right, and I'm going to use the beautiful pink pearls that came in the kit this month. Got 2 down here in the bottom left, and then let me get 1 more here. I like to do these in sets of 3, 2. Let's see, got 2 in the bottom and put 1 right here. All right, so that completes this card. Perfect. I like it. All right, so that is all of the cards that we are making today. Here's another look at the cards that we made. Leave me a comment below on which card was your favorite. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, I hope that you'll subscribe and come back. I do appreciate any time you shop my links, as that does help support me and my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, everyone.